these people that came from the yellow, the blue world, they were met by the people that lived there, the inhabitants of that world, and they said, okay, these are our land, and these are our sacred mountains, and this water is pure and clean here. We live by these elements. So we're trying to preserve it, we're trying to keep it balanced. If you want to live here, you have to obey by this law and by these rules. So there was a big old fight about, after so many years, there was a power struggle. Right here, male versus female. Even though they already kind of knew that there was going to be no winner, but they had to go through that. So there's a long story about that, male versus female. So what happened was they got stuck on that. I have the power. It can be gender. It can be sex. It could be power of some kind of power. But basically what happened was the whole world, the whole universe, all the elements in this world, in the yellow world, the only way it can function is they have to be intact here. They have to be a whole piece here. The male here and the female here, like a positive and negative energy. And one day, it said, we don't need you and I don't need you, so the separation of the sex. It's just like at home. You know how sometimes when you get into a big argument about little tiny things, just like dropping of a fork on the ground, why'd you throw the fork down? It was an accident, huh? You did it. So then something's wrong there. There's a friction right there. So there's something wrong because somebody's sleeping on the living room couch and there's no communication. There's a silent treatment right there, you know. That's what happened here. So a lot of times, I think people misinterpret this as politics. I think that's a wrong translation. Somebody said that some years ago when Annie Juanica was going to be the not Annie in there and all that. I don't know. But it's the whole universe. It's not just like people. Like I can easily say that, okay, all the men you go over here and all the female go over here on this side. It's not like that. The friction between supernatural energy, between the water, male water, and the female water here, it does not produce life. So when they separated this bonding, what that means is it's the end of the world again, because there is going to be no reproduction of any sort. It's going to be the end of it. And the whole universe is going to go and it's going to die out. It's going to stop. So they did not fix it because both sides were all stubborn. They would not communicate. And until they had a great old flood. In that flood, water was rising. So somewhere that coyote was floating around in the water. He was kind of like running like this, and he grabbed something and he just put it in his pocket or somewhere. He stuck it in there, and he went into the next world. That's where sort of like that. It's almost like taking something that's not yours and just hiding it and taking it into the next world. It's a good thing that happened. So, and then again, if you were to take that crossover at the end of this world, let's say like right here, that you're going into this area. It's the last second ticking now. I'll go. For you to escape that, and you got only 30 seconds to go back into your house, or 30 seconds to go back into your world. One of the most valued, essential part of your life that sustain your life. What would you grab? What would you take with you and take it with you to rely on it? Is it going to be your checkbook? Is it going to be your whatever? It's going to be something that's important to you in the next world to use. Okay, in that same content, Nana. Okay, right here. Let's say this is like 1868. Over here is like 2010. Let's say like 1868, when we made contact with the Balaganas, that was about right here. Okay, let's use it as a metaphor. In that traditional world, in that Navajo world of this IQ is going to be at stake there. To 142 years today, let's say that we're going into this tunnel here, or this time that there's going to be a great flood of European domination. You're going to all be dominated, and then you're going to be transformed into Balaganas. You're going to lose your language and culture and all that. Let's say that it's rising, the water of that is rising. We're almost at the tip there. What is one of the most essential part of your life that you feel that you must have in this computer world? To go back into that water, to go back and to retrieve, retain, grab something that's of your own personal life, that your children's going to rely on into the next world, into the Hajine, into the fifth world, into the sixth world. Language is, we have to retain it, we have to retrieve it, we have to take that with us into the next world. We have to take with us because that's our essential. That's our knowledge. What happened over here, over here, over here, right here, right here, right here, right here, is based on the content of our language and our Navajo thought and Navajo thinking, Navajo philosophy.